Okay.
I guess we can go. Or did you want to go, Lizzie?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Olivia, did you want to like present the feature, then I can do the code?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh, I need some help being allowed to share. Cool. Okay. So we had a fun one. I had a lot of fun this week. I think it was the right amount of challenging to be like really engaged, but also not so challenging that like it didn't feel like we were like rolling through it. So it was fun. Our task was to update basically the database and how many times you've bought a particular item when you click it off. So I bought a lot of carrots so far. But if I click on carrots again, it updates to 39 carrots, and then it updates the date last purchased to the current time. And then from there, we got kind of a little bit of eager beavers and thought, what if you accidentally clicked carrots? So we also put the functionality where you could unclick carrots and then it would decrease one total purchase and then update date last purchase back to null. So I'll pass it to Hanson.
All right. Can you guys see it okay?
Yep.
All right, sweet. So essentially we got the app rendering out a checkbox next to every list item, checkbox input, and we're managing whether or not the item was purchased or not using the useState hook. And we initially set it to false, saying the item was not purchased yet. And the handle check function here is going to call the update item function, and this is going to let's see, this is going to update the database whether or not with the Boolean checked list token and item ID, and it's going to set the purchase state to the opposite of what it was. So if it was true, it'll be false, and then false true. Use effect will be rendering dependent on date last purchased whenever that changes using the dependency array. And this was a little tricky. We probably took the most time on trying to convert the day in milliseconds and trying to grab the current date. But essentially what we did was say, if the date last purchased was within the last 24 hours, or if the date last purchased within the last 24 hours, was purchased would be set to true, otherwise false. And I'll show you the asynchronous function we set up, update item here on the Firebase. And this was pretty neat as well. We're saying if the user marks an item as purchased, as what you saw Olivia perform on the database, it'll set to null, and total purchases will decrement by 1. And then if the user unchecks the item, the date will be updated to null, and the total purchase will be incremented by 1. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. You guys have any questions or concerns?
One little thing. I mean, you guys did really great work this week coming up with this logic. But I just noticed anytime you're like setting a piece of React state based on a prop, you don't actually need to use a use effect, because you see how like the dependency of your use effect is a prop. So basically, like if you had moved all this logic just outside of the use effect and didn't have was purchased as a piece of state, but instead just had it as a normal variable, anytime date last purchase changed, it would automatically like update. Does that make sense? I don't know if I explained that well.
think so.
Can
Yeah.
you say it one more time? I
Yeah.
need to hear it a second time to circle it.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
really
so
interesting.
basically, like you're creating a piece of React state, use state was purchased, and then you're creating a use effect that updates that state based on the value of a prop that you're passing into the component. And so like this works, but it's just like best practice is considered, don't create use effects unless you have to. And so what you could do instead of creating like was purchased, you could actually just do const was purchased equals whatever logic you have to like that you have inside the use effect.
Oh, I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
because
it's a lot clearer. Yeah.
Because the prop will re-render and run that logic again. So
Exactly. It's called, yeah, like I think they like the React people call it like derived state, basically. You're just creating a normal JavaScript variable that's derived from another piece of state. Instead of having to create a whole nother like React state and use effect combination.
Cool. Okay.
Sweet, thanks. We'll have to get back to it.
Yeah, that's really
Cool.
cool.
Yeah.
You know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I don't necessarily think you have to like change it or upgrade it or whatever. That's just like, an optimization. If you're ever like running into this issue again. I mean, I've
Sweet.
like in the code base I work on, like I see these, but it's definitely like best practices to try to remove all the use effects possible, because that's like where weirdness starts happening a lot of times.
So that makes sense. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought you guys did I peeked in on it too and tested it out and thought you guys did a great job. The one thing I noticed, which isn't a problem now, but I suspect might be in a future issue, is just that it resets. So let's say you purchase something that had already been purchased and then you purchase it again, but like you said, made a mistake and unpurchased. Instead of going back to the date of last, what the actual last purchase was, it goes to null. And I suspect, if I remember correctly, that might cause something, a little inaccuracy with like an ordering of when something should be purchased. But it's great for now. I think just a heads up in case. I'm pretty sure that's in some issue coming up.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. I guess we'll see what happens, because I was thinking it would be kind of cool to like save the second to last dates. You could like go back, but I'm like, that seems like a can of worms. That's not for today. So I was like, let's just set it as null and see what happens.
Yeah, no, it was great. You all took that extra initiative. That was nice. Cool. Okay. Lizzie and Yufa, do you want to go next?
Yes, we do. And Yufa has been so wonderful and understanding this week. I'm happy to do the showcase. Is that okay with you, Yufa?
Yeah. I mean, like it's a learning process. So it's a learning process for all of us.
All right. So you guys should see the code over here, and then let me drag in the shopping list. Okay. So let's start with the updated functionality. Our ticket was short and sweet. All we had to do was make it so that if you log into the shopping list and you don't have any items in your list, you should see this message and you should see this add item button, which when clicked navigates you to the add item view. And that's it. So looking at the code, we only needed to update the list view. So we're inside of the list function, and we used a ternary to make this work. So basically, if the length of the list is not greater than 0, then you see this message here, which includes the button with the link to the add item view. And otherwise, then you see your list. And that's it. You guys have any questions? Okay.
Nice and clean. Love it. Was that actually, this is totally random, but the warning in your console, is that an actual warning, or was it when I noticed when I did it locally, like some of my warnings weren't being updated? So I'm just curious if, or sorry, Lizzie, you're muted if.
Oh, it's it's
There we go.
one something we imported, something we haven't used yet.
Yeah, it looks like it's in, so it's in firebase.js and doc is defined but never used.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Is that from? Here's firebase.js. Yes, it looks like it's this on line 4.
are you able to comment that out?
Yeah,
Just-
let's try that.
So yeah, it's still not updating, even though my only comment was I try, like, in general, I try to keep the warnings as clean as possible so that when there actually is something that I didn't realize, like I defined something and commented out where I used it, and this tells you, so but I also think there's something wrong with this not updating. So anyway, take it or leave it, but that's just a little.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, because I don't think we made any changes to Firebase.
I think that might have been an old warning, because I think I saw it in a past.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah,
the
that's
group
interesting.
next.
Because I don't have that warning, and I'm using doc in Firebase in the update item function. So I wonder if this was just like with our Git situation this week.
Yeah, I did do the most recent. I did a poll just in case, right before I fired everything up.
Oh, me too. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, did you merge the newest stuff into your branch?
That
Oh,
could
it's a
be
branch.
it.
It's not main.
I'm on main. Yep, you're right. So git checkout. Okay.
There you go.
There we go. I was on a branch. Oh my gosh, you guys, same issue as I had before. All right. Here we go. Start it up. And we should no longer see this if, oops.
When you polled, it said there was it was an issue because you had commented it out, Doc.
Yeah, I don't know if you're able to switch to main yet because I gave a warning.
Okay, so
you
it's
are
on
in
main now.
Okay.
And then git pull.
There
Okay,
we go.
so that did update it. So now let's try npm start.
Or I like nom start.
Okay, there we go. The warning isn't there.
Nice.
Nice.
All right,
Cool.
I've got to get so much more careful about my branches.
I'm telling you, you got to do the thing that I sent. Where
I know. I looked into it. I have to apparently go through the course to get that tip, but I'm going to work through his course because I want to learn the other stuff.
It doesn't take that long, but I find it really helpful to say like main or like your branch name. Like I've got to highlight
have
it in
like
green.
super highlighted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I use Oh My Zish, which is another like shell kind of theme thing that'll give you some nice, good Git knowledge, just like information about your Git branches and whether you have stuff to commit and all stuff like that.
What is it called? Will you type that into the chat?
Yeah, it is a funny name.
I'm like, how do you phonetically spell that?
I'm sure people use that. Like, it sounds like, Tim, you're very smart about the information you share. I use that specifically for color and like to have elephants next to my commits or like.
Wait,
nice.
You had emojis in it? Because I have it too. I didn't know you could do that.
I think you can.
Yeah.
I think you can update like.
Oh wait,
yeah.
you're right. Yeah, I think I have a little lightning bolt. Yeah. I'm the same way as you, Lizzie. I had to add that, like what Tim mentioned, because like one of my mentors was like, you're messing this up too much. Like, well, not like that. They said it nicely, but they're like, let's get you settled in. So yeah.
I've never had an issue with my own branches, but this is the first time that I've worked with more than one other person.
Yeah.
So
yeah, good job.
It's definitely exposing some issues that I have need to work on.
Honestly, that's good. I mean, that's the whole point of this it's like that kind of coordination is not, at least it wasn't practiced at my boot camp. So yeah.
Yeah, better here than at my job.
Exactly. Cool. Are we good on demos then? Cool. So yeah, we're gonna jump into a retrospective. I just posted a link in in a Slack to the retro board if people don't already have it easily available. But you can also but yeah, I'll is it helpful for me to share my screen, or do people want to have it open on their own local machines? How do people feel? Any opinions? No opinion.
No strong
Cool.
feelings.
Cool. I'll share my screen to start. Maybe we can do just do like a 5-minute timer and write some stuff up. Or maybe, yeah, maybe I won't share my screen to start. I'll do a 5-minute timer on my end, and then we can reconvene and I'll share then. Cool. Everyone good? Have the retro board? Cool. Just give it one more minute for anyone to finish up any thoughts they might be working on. Great. Here, let me share. All right, can everyone see that? Great.
Yep.
Yeah, we can just start moving down the appreciations column at first. If the person who wrote it wants to add anything, feel free to jump in. But yeah, the first one is
Zoom in a
I
little
appreciate.
bit. Sorry.
Yeah,
What's
can you
that?
make a little bit bigger?
Make it bigger. Oh, it's probably because I'm on a full screen. Is this helpful
Cool.
or no?
Thank you.
Cool. Sorry. Yeah, I forget that I'm on my like 27-inch right now. Cool. Yeah. Appreciations. I appreciate the whole group jumping in to help when I accidentally merged the other team's code into our PR. That was, yeah, I assume that was Lizzie who said
Yep,
that.
that was me.
Nice. And then
Yeah,
next one, yeah.
thank you guys. I've never had the chance to make a mistake like that in a group. You know, in the past, all of my mistakes have been just me. And so I kind of just say, oh, you silly goose, and learn from it and move on. But to do it so publicly was really good for me. So thank you.
Totally. I mean, that's the beauty of this program is working on this collaborative stuff, which is so different from when you're just learning to code by yourself and working on your own projects. Cool. Moving on.
Should we be saying, sorry, Tim, should we, the people who wrote it, be sharing them? Is that how we want to do it, or?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay,
I'm just not sure who it is, so I'll just like mouse over one, and if whoever wants to share it, whoever wrote it, feel free to jump in.
Okay, yeah, because I wrote this one. I just want to say, Tim and Lauren, you guys explain React concepts so beautifully, and I've learned so much from both of you. So it's nice. I don't get to see React too much, and then yeah, I've already learned so much in just these like couple weeks. So it's awesome. Thank you.
Well, next one.
This one's from me too. I just wanted to say that I really appreciate Yufa for being super flexible and supportive. I like 10 minutes into our work call, I got a call from my kid's school and I had to go pick him up because he had a fever. And she was so understanding. And, you know, I was back in 45 minutes and we finished our ticket fairly quickly. And then also when I made that Git mistake, which was completely my fault, she, you know, had no idea and had nothing to do with it. She still was totally willing to just jump on and help me fix navigating it, even though it was kind of my responsibility. So thank you, Yufa.
It's a teamwork.
Love it. Nice. Yeah, moving on.
Yeah, the great thing about mistakes is now you're not going to make it again. That's what I always like to say. It's like, yep, check that off the list. Now it's done and I don't have to do it again. My appreciation was for Viviana's feedback on our PR this week. I think she left a lot of really great tips to help write really dry code and a way to, yeah, just sort of like think about things a little bit differently and the way that more things are true and false than just true and false. So I thought that was really helpful.
Next one.
Oh, that's me. It was great working with Hanson and Lizzie for this 2 weeks. And I feel like by just kind of observing how you think is a way for me to challenge how I think, as well as I learn a lot from you as well. So thank you.
Cool. Next one.
Yeah, this was for me. I just want to throw appreciation out there to Olivia. She was very eager as soon as we got the okay to implement the unchecked feature. She just messaged me in Slack like, "You down to code tomorrow?" And then we just, you know, it was just an eager to code and learn from each other. It was pretty great. So yeah, thank you again.
That's great. Yeah, I appreciate. I mean, there's excitement goes a long way with coding, right? Like if you're excited about it, like it makes it less of a job at least.
Yeah,
which is nice. Cool. Next one.
But yeah, very grateful to Tim and Viviana for being like very reliable and willing to step in for things. And Tim, I really appreciate your technical insights too. I echo Viviana. And Viviana, you had like really positive and specific review comments. So that was like great to see. And I just think it's a really positive contribution. Yeah, that's it.
Great. Next one.
Yeah, Olivia, you did a great job addressing all my feedback, and you did it so quickly too. I remember like I did it Friday, and then by Saturday it was already done when I woke up, I'm pretty sure. So that was awesome. And then on top of that, you're so positive. So it's like a really nice thing to have in the group. So appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, just really appreciate how on top of everything this team is, like, very organized and professional, and people are making really specific technical comments and positive feedback and making mistakes in front of each other and being receptive to feedback. So all of that is really great.
Absolutely. Next one.
Well, it seems like this doesn't need to be said because you all know I'm having a great time. But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody. I feel like we've like turned like a new leaf or whatever the saying is now that we've all like had a chance to work with each other. And I feel like the egos are kind of gone and we like know who each other are and we're like having a good time and like learning and grooving. And I think that that's really fun. I'm having a really good time.
Love it. Last one, appreciation.
Yeah, I think we said it a couple times, but Lizzie, I think it's great that you're working in public and sharing when you mess up just so that we can all learn. And I think working in public is something that's really important, especially when like for your next role. So everyone knows like where you're at, what you're doing, and that you're not afraid to do that. So I think that's really wonderful. I hope you continue doing that.
Great.
Thank you.
Awesome. Moving on to the what went well column. This first one was me. I mean, this is kind of just echoing all the appreciations, you know, just generally, but I feel like everyone's just been working together with, it's like confidence and willingness to learn and experiment. And yeah, the confidence isn't just like, you know, being confident in your abilities, but like confident to like make mistakes and to try stuff. And yeah, I really appreciate watching it. I think you as a group have been yeah, it's just been really fun to watch from afar. So appreciating that. Yeah, the next one.
Yeah, I think Hanson and I had a really good pair programming session this week. It was really great to like drive a little bit and then Hanson would drive a little bit. And like, for example, on that the date function, we both like kind of were lost and we both took a stab at it and then we both had different answers and then like pick and chose the best elements of each and like got like the answer from it. So I think that was fun and really successful.
Yeah.
Next one.
I think that really shows from Olivia and Hanson the work you did because you handled that issue so well. It was so much fun to review. So yeah, really great job handling. Dates are very tricky to deal with. So yeah, good job.
Next one.
This one's mine, and I noted that the group has really found its groove, and like we're not spending so much time focusing on the details of how to do this work. So like because we've worked all that stuff out, we can really focus on like the mechanics and debugging and learning new concepts, you know, because we have the other boulders in place, if you will.
Totally. Last one and what went well.
Well, yeah. I'm just very impressed with how quickly you all found a great cadence, and how supportive everyone is of each other. So nice.
Love it. Cool. Moving on to what could be improved. This first one was mine. Yeah, just maybe some more communication from the collabs around office hours. I think the last 2 weeks, nobody has come, which is obviously like they're optional and that's fine. But I think like Lauren and I, you know, we were just like around for that hour or whatever, and it would just be nice to know if nobody's coming, then it's like, yeah, I guess maybe we don't have to work or wait around. And it's like obviously everyone's been like really competent and figuring stuff out. But yeah, feel free to like, you know, if you are free during that time, like it could just be an interesting time to just kind of pick the brain of mentors, even if it's not like specific to this project. You know, just come hang out.
Yeah, maybe we can try to send a poll or something earlier in the day to see if people are planning on coming, just so.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Cool. Yeah, next one.
Yeah, for this one, I think you've all been filling out really detailed PR descriptions. I think now that these issues are getting a little bit trickier, it'd be good to start adding videos rather than screenshots of your work, just so we can see the entire flow. Just seeing like the before and after doesn't tell us like what, I think it helps the reviewers see like what steps should I be taking, and then it's just like proof that like the whole entire flow works. So
It's a great idea.
I don't know how to do
Last,
that. So I'd love to have a chit chat about how to do that after this.
yeah, totally. I mean, that could even be like an office hours thing, something like that. That's an idea. But yeah, last one, and what could be approved?
Yeah, this isn't really needing improvement, but I was just further saying, like, I really appreciated the extra chatter this week. And we could do even more. Again, I could do more. And part of the reason that I like it selfishly as a mentor is that since we don't get to work with you as closely, we get to know you a little bit through seeing your conversations or the things you post, getting to know you a little bit more. So it's just a selfish request.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah, we like watching y'all work, so it's enjoyable for us as well. Cool. Any other last retrospective thoughts for this?
I
this
want
week?
to just go on top of what Lauren said. I think in the threads that we assign you guys, it'd be good to include anything that you guys got stuck on or any resources you use. I think would be really helpful. It's like Livia and Hanson, how you guys mentioned you both took a stab at like the same problem and like picked out the best elements. I think that'd be cool to see in the Slack threads. Just like, again, working in public is like a really, really good thing to do.
Totally. That's a really great idea. Cool. Any final thoughts? Sweet.
Okay, so ready to go over issues? Cool. Let me share my screen. All right, so let me move this. I have too many tabs. Don't look at that. Okay, so for this week, we have Lizzie and Hanson for the first pair and Yufa and Olivia for the second pair. And we're already on issues 9 to 10, which is exciting. Okay, so for issue number 9, it's as a user, I want to be alerted when I'm entering an empty item or an item that's already on my list. So users shouldn't be able to add an empty item to their list or add the same item twice. If they try to do this, we need to show them an error message that explains the problem. This way, we'll prevent some clutters in their list. So some AC, we need to show an error message if the user tries to submit an empty item. Show an error message if the user tries to submit a new item that is identical to an existing name. So for instance, if the list contains Apple and the user adds Apple, you have to show the error message. And then show an error message if the user tries to submit a new item that matches an existing item with punctuation and the casing normalized. So if the list contains apples and the user adds apples with like, what do you call it? Uppercase or any punctuation or any spacing between, that shouldn't be allowed. And then you just need to keep the original input in the database. And then just a note, there's obviously a couple ways to approach this. So if you're not sure, just ask us for help. So this one will be fun. I like input input sanitization? I think I said that right. Yeah, so that one's fun. Okay, any questions for this one yet? Cool. Let me go to issue number 10. Okay, more date stuff. So as an item, I want my estimated next purchase date to be computed at the time my purchase is recorded in the database so the app can learn how often I buy different items. Summary. In order to advise users about when to purchase things, the app needs to be able to calculate that guess and store it as a future date. The calculate estimate function from Collab Lab shopping list utils module will help us know how many days in the future a purchase should happen. In order to use calculate estimate, we need to know how many days have passed since the time the item was last purchased. So the AC, when the user purchases an item, the item's date next purchase property is calculated using calculate estimate function and it's saved in the Firestore database. And this should be saved as a date, not a number. And then you should create a days between dates function exported from utils date.js and imported into API Firebase.js. This function will take 2 JavaScript dates and return the number of days that have passed between them. Okay, so that's a lot, but there's some notes to help. Okay, so working with Firestore dates, Firestore returns dates as special objects called timestamps. So you'll need to convert the timestamp to a JavaScript date in order to work with it and complete this feature. The timestamped object has a toDate method, which I think you guys have already worked with before. And then here for calculating the time between JavaScript dates, as you know, comparing and manipulating JavaScript dates is notoriously tricky. So here's a hint. All date objects have a getTime method that returns a representation of that date in milliseconds. So for these two things, I saw that you've already started working on that here. So you can just reference that here. For those of you who didn't work on this issue, I think this was Olivia and Hansen that wrote this. So yeah, you already have the getTime and the toDate. So you can reference that. And then last part, calculating the next purchase date. So the Collab shopping list utils module should already be installed in your project. This module exports calculate estimate. Calculate estimate accepts 3 arguments. Previous estimate, which is the last estimated purchase interval. Date since the last purchased. This is the number of days that have elapsed between the last purchase date and now. So you'll need to figure out how to calculate this. And then total purchases, which we already have. So given this information, calculate estimate returns a whole number indicating the number of days until the user is likely to make their next purchase. So you're gonna use that number and then come up with, what is it called? Date next purchase? Date next purchase, yeah. Cool, so I know that was a lot. So do you guys have any questions so far? No? Okay, this one will be fun. So yeah, if you run into any trouble, definitely message us. And then there's always office hours too. Cool. So who wants number 9? Who wants number 10? I can also pick randomly. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's see. Lizzie and Hansen. Okay, you guys can do this one. Let's see. Let me move this. Lizzie. Hansen. Cool. And then this will be Yufa and Olivia. And Olivia. Cool. Good luck. Let me stop sharing. Right.
Nice. Yeah, anyone have any other things they want to talk about? Hang out. Before we call it.
I was talking for so long right now. I just realized.
Yeah. Totally. That's fun. Well, the team I work for, Seattle Kraken, are playing Game 7 of the playoffs in about an hour and a half. So I'm just like getting psyched up for that.
That is so cool. That's your job. I still could not get over that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I think that's one of the coolest things about web development is that like you don't have to work for a tech company. You could like go work for a hockey team. Like everybody needs a website.
Exactly. Everybody needs a good web developer.
I feel like now
Totally.
like all companies are tech companies.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's true, huh?
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of into photography on the side, and I've been like thinking about just like making myself like this epic photography website to like sell prints and stuff. You know, it's just like because I can just do that. I want, I guess. It's like I don't know how much time I should put into it, but it's like I could.
I'm at a point where I will never make another website again. I'm so burnt out from making them. Like my mom always brings me like, oh, like your aunt wants a website. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm done. I'm retired in that regard.
Oh,
But I
totally.
really want a blog.
Yeah, no,
Make me
Yeah.
one.
Oh, like my mom
Yeah.
finds me the randomest people, and I'm like, I don't know them. I'm not doing this.
Totally. Sweet. Well, yeah, we can call it early this week. Great job, everyone. I feel like you've all been killing it. So yeah, I forget who's on office hours on Tuesdays. That's you. Cool. Yeah, maybe we can do a poll like on Slack ahead of time just to make sure people are interested in it. But yeah, otherwise, happy coding this week, and everyone be active on Slack. Let us know what you're up to, and yeah, we'll be in touch.
Awesome, good. All right. Everyone.
Thank you all.
Bye.